effectively. After I talked about the rules and regulations, I will share to you guys the link for our lesson so that when you have free time, you can reread what we are going to talk about today, as well as add more information to what we talked about. So I will give you the link. Please remember not to share the lesson link or notes to others. Okay? So remember that we have 2 to 5 lessons per week, 3 hours per session, and it will be 4 to 5 weeks for each module. Okay? Notes will be provided during lessons. So of course, I will be showing you PowerPoint presentation, so please make sure that you have that. Okay? All right. And then there will be an exam for each module, and you will have to make payments before you sit for the paper. Going to have other announcements at the end of our lesson later on. Okay, so I just want to review the rules and regulations of our class so that everyone will remember what to do during the lesson. All right. Okay. Now let me stop sharing so that I can start. Okay. I can start. There you go. Your faces are all very clear and your names are all very clear right now. Okay. In the Zoom gallery page. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking screenshot, guys, for our attendance tonight. Okay, are you ready? Do you want to smile for your attendance for tonight? That will be great. That's fine too, okay? So, give me a few minutes. I will start taking screenshots for our attendance tonight. Just give me a couple of minutes because there are so many of you. And so I would like to make sure that everyone in is in it, okay? And that everyone's name is clear. This is the best time to switch on your videos, everybody, so we can see your face and your full name. Great. I'm on page. Great smile there, guys. I'm on page 5 now. Right. Smile, everybody. That's great. And we have evidence of your presence. Well, of course, I'm going to take screenshots for your attendance uh, 3 times, right, during the lesson. So this is the first one. And then I will do it again later on after our break, right? You know the drill. So after our break and, of course, before we finish our lesson. Okay. So, almost there. Okay. Almost there. 5 more pages. Wow, that's a lot. Okay. Uh-huh, 5 more pages to go. And I can see everyone switching on their videos. Good job, guys. Thank you for following instructions and with their full names. Great. Me now will not have a hard time looking for your name. Okay. Here. And almost there. And I'm done. Great. Thank you guys for your great smiles and big smiles tonight. So our lesson tonight is a very important lesson. Why? Because we are all connected. We are all connected. We are connected to it. It affects us. okay, in our daily lives and even our interests, right? So that's how important it is. Most likely, most of you already know what I am talking about, okay? And I'm sure maybe some of you already have um, experiences, right, on how to handle or or have a not so good experience or maybe a very positive experience regarding the topic tonight. So what we're going to talk about tonight is something that everyone is very familiar of. Okay, right. So let me share my screen, and so we can begin. Can everyone see my screen? Yes. Thank you, Jonalyn. Right. Thank you for confirming. Thank you, guys. Okay. All right. So data privacy, right? Do you agree with me that data protection and data privacy is something that everyone knows about or have heard of? Correct? Right? So everyone knows what this is, or probably you've heard what it is, right? So do you think this is something important? Do you think that this is something that would help you? This is something that you should know, not just you, and just everyone who uses data or internet or information right now. Do you agree? Yeah? Okay. So maybe some of you are thinking, nah, doesn't really affect me. I'm not an IT person. No, I don't think it affects me. So before we talk more about it, I'd like to show you something. Okay. And it's a short clip. Okay. I'd like you to see, okay, what this person is doing or this caricature is doing, and then we can start our discussion from there. Okay. That was a very short clip, right? And what was it about? It's just about a guy who is doing everything he needs to do on the internet. Okay, what he needs to do on a daily basis. Now, I'd like to ask. Let me allow some people uh, to mm, unmute. Okay, so let me ask you guys: do you use social media daily? May Miat? May Miat, can you hear me? Are you there? Hi. Good evening, May. Hi, May, do you use social media daily?
Yeah, I
Yeah?
do.
What social
Yeah,
media do you use every day?
Facebook, Instagram.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, May. Okay. How about, thank you, May. Let me ask, Jason. Jason, can you hear me? Jason Bornilio. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I can.
Yeah. Oh, Jason. Good. Do you use social media, Jason?
Yes.
Yes. How often do you use social media?
Free time, like in a daily
Mm-hmm.
basis, like I do use it like eight, eight, 8 hours or something like that, just to scroll down and check,
Oh,
especially in Facebook.
Facebook. Okay, great. Thank you for sharing, Jason. Okay, how about
You're welcome.
Azwari? Azwari, can you hear me? Azwari?
Yes, Med.
Hi, Azwari.
Hi,
Do
good
you use social
evening.
media? Good
Yeah,
evening.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
using
And
Facebook, TikTok, WhatsApp.
wow, that's a lot. And how long, like duration in a day? How long do you use those
If
social media?
one day about 2 3 times, but not too long lah.
Uh-huh.
About if one time half an hour like that. So one day 1.5 hour only.
One and a half hour. Okay, thank you for sharing, Iswari. Okay, let me ask another person. Let me ask. Hmm, who is this? Um, Phi Hong. Nung Ngoyen Phi Hong. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Did I say? Okay, great. Phi Hong, do you use social media?
Yes, I just use Facebook. Yeah, Facebook only.
Just Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. And how often do you use Facebook?
Sometime 1 hour per day. Yeah.
1 hour per day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is personal use, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Good. Thank you for
Thank you so
sharing,
much.
Sihong. Let me ask one last person. Deepan. Raj? Deepan, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, yeah. Good
Oh,
evening.
okay, great. Good evening. Deepan, do you use social media?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Don't worry. I'm not gonna ask what are the what are your credentials, but how often do you use the social media, Deepan?
my my break times only.
Break times. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, so this is for personal use. This is not for work
yeah,
use.
yes.
Okay. So let's say, how many times do you go on break?
Maybe 1 hour in whole day.
An hour.
Yeah,
Okay. Total of 1 hour every day. All right. And do you use different social media accounts or just like Sihong, just Facebook? Just one.
yeah. Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook
Instagram.
and Instagram. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing, Deepan.
thank you.
Okay. Wow. Thank you guys for sharing. Now, see, I ask many of you, and you come from different parts of the world, right? And you all know what social media is. And you, including me, I use social media too, right? Some of them I use for work, some I use personal for personal use. Okay, and yes, sometimes I use it uh, early morning, sometimes in the middle of the day, sometimes at night. Okay, so I use it like you. I use it, and I use it and not thinking that this is going to affect me. Okay, so I'm thinking, oh, this is safe. Okay, like you use it because you think it is safe to you, right? But imagine this: when we use social media, let me go back in sharing my screen. Hello. How about now, guys? Can you hear and see me? Right now? Yes? Okay. Better? All right, thank you. Thank you, Juliet, for confirming. Yamin, thank you. Okay, if you check the chat box, guys, I also pasted the link for our lesson today. Okay, please open that. All right, let me go back and share my screen. Take a look at the list that I have showed you. And so if you can see, right, those are the activities that adults do online. Okay? I also shared with you the link if you want to see the whole info. Okay? So the whole description of it. So as you can see, if you look at the last one, 92.3%, okay, use it. What is this? This is text messaging or messaging using the internet. Okay, a lot, right? That's a lot. Now, if I ask you, I'm sure you would agree with me that you are included in this activity. You are also one of those people who also use text messaging or instant messaging over the internet. Agree, guys? Yes, we do. We do that. Yes. And we do it, we don't really think so much about it. Now, why am I sharing this information? Information was 2019. So most likely, there's more in numbers now in 2021. Okay, so most likely, right, that if this is the number of people using in 2019, there'll be more people using it. Okay, now here's another information. This is the world of data. Now it says that 2.9 million of emails are sent per second in the world. Imagine that. And we do that for work, right? We do that for our work. We do that every day. About 375 megabytes of data consumed by a household each day. Because of the pandemic, I'm sure the numbers have increased because most of us work from home now. Would you agree? Right. We are aware of that. Okay. It says 20 hours of video is uploaded to YouTube. Do you guys upload videos in YouTube? Oh, whatever video. Okay, do you? Are you one of those people who uploads video in YouTube? Just 20 hours of video is uploaded every minute in YouTube. So looking at our data that I have shared with you, that's a lot. Okay, let me share the link for the second survey that I showed you. Here's the link. If you want some more information, that will be an added information and an added reading material for you. Let me share that in our chat box. Here's the link. I'm going to share it to everyone. There you go. Okay, so in case you want to see the whole explanation of it. Right, looking at the information about the data being shared, about the data being, well, uploaded or downloaded over the internet. We can see that that's a lot. And in fact, we are part of that data because we do the same. We use social media, we send emails, we use text messages. So most likely our data, our information is also being shared, being uploaded, being saved, being collected. Now why am I talking about this? Why? Simply because I'd like you to think about this. Data protection. Have you ever thought about data protection? Have you ever wondered if the data that you have saved, that you have shared, have you ever wondered if that data is protected? What is data protection? Data protection is a set of strategies and processes that you can use to secure your privacy, okay, and integrity of your data. Have we thought about this? Have we really thought about if our data is protected? Okay, why is it that it's important for us to think about data protection? Because data protection is very important to any organization. Because data can be collected, handled, can be stored, and some of them are actually sensitive information. Do you agree, guys? It's sensitive information, right? Maybe you're thinking, oh, it's just my name. It's just where I live. It's just my number, ID number. So maybe you're thinking it's not that important, but it is. Some of them are very important, sensitive data, sensitive information. Okay? And we, as a human being, in our generation right now, we need to question that. We need to know if our data is protected. Is it private? Is it being shared? Right? Who has our data? Have you ever had a surprise call from someone you don't know? Have you ever received an email from a company that you've never heard of? And did you wonder if where they got your email? Have you ever wondered where they got your phone number? Right? What happened? I don't know this person. Why does this person have my number? Okay, why? What is going on? Okay, so this is all part of data protection. Data protection is a set of strategies and the processes so that we can secure the privacy and availability and integrity of our data. Okay,
Data.
so what is data privacy? Data privacy refers to your right as an individual. Okay, we have our rights to keep our information private. Okay, we can choose to share it, we can choose to keep it private. That is our right. We have the right to keep our information private. Okay, so on a personal or individual level, okay, we have information that we can share. Okay, it could be personal health information. It could be facts about ourselves, right? All these information about us, we input in our exchanges. Now, data privacy tells us which information or helps us which information do we keep private? Which information do we share? Which of this information is sensitive? Right? Which information is not? Now, it's not just us on a personal level. Organizations do the same. Okay? Data privacy concerns apply to all sensitive information that any organization handles, including the data of their, for example, customers or clients or people that they deal with. They have all of those information. Data privacy, okay, will help them. This data privacy will help the company ensure integrity, safety, privacy for their information. Okay? The data privacy is enforced by the data protection regulation. So it's not just our personal data, it's not just the company data, but you see many organizations around the world are there to ensure this. Now, a lot of you are thinking maybe data protection and data privacy are similar, but actually they're a bit different. The terms do not represent the same thing. When I say data privacy, it focuses on defining who has access to data. Okay, so this is my data, and so data privacy is focused on who can see the data that I have. Okay, can anyone see this data? Or can a few people see this data? Okay, how restricted could it be? Okay, the how many of you guys uh, have bought something, okay, over the internet? How many of you have bought electronic products? How many of you see? A lot, right? Almost everyone bought something, have product, right? I'm sure if I ask you, these are different categories, right? This will be ranging from electronic goods right, to personal goods, right? Okay. How many of you bought babies? I'm sure everyone has an experience to that. Okay. And if you check, right? If you check, so let's say you bought an electronic device. Okay, let's say laptop. Okay. Uh, when you buy a laptop, when you choose a laptop, you want to make sure that the laptop you're buying has all the necessary software, program, hardware, right? That will make your laptop, well, of course, be used efficiently. At the same time, also keep your information private. Am I right? Guys? Yes? It's very important, isn't it? Right? So we want to make sure that we have those. If we don't, we ask others help to help us ensure that. Right? Jason agrees. Right. Why? Because we know how important it is. Yamin agrees. Yes, we do that. Because we know that we want to make sure that when we use something, it is safe to use and that it is secured for us. Now that we know that we have data, information, and we leave a trace, we leave them in the internet everywhere, we want to make sure that it is safe, it is protected. It is safe and it is protected. Our information is private and our information is protected. Okay. So everything now, anything you buy that has always been part of the terms and conditions that is included in every item or anything that you have bought. Right? So, why overlap each other? Okay? And how are we being affected by the digital age? Okay? It will also tell you how you can engage with companies and government to ensure protection of your data as well as strengthen your human rights. Okay? Were you able to get the links, guys? Can you hear me? Yeah? Were you able to get the link? Okay. All right. I'd like you to I'd
Hey
like you
guys,
to
real
open
quick.
that link. Because that will give you a lot of information. Okay? Was everyone able to see the link and access? I will paste the link again.
In the digital age, data plays a huge role in our everyday lives.
Yes,
It's present in
great.
lots of obvious ways.
Okay,
When we're
good.
shopping online, for example, and have to type in our name and address. But data collection can also be less visible.
It talks about
Take data
privacy
brokers,
and
for
data protection. Okay. It also talks about the digital age, the challenges that we have. Okay. Challenges like what's the challenge that relates to the collection of personal data, and even the technologies, the emerging technologies that we have. Okay. It also mentions about governing bodies, mechanisms, and companies. Okay, so I'd like you to listen to that and open.
example. You've probably never heard of them, but these businesses specialize in creating in-depth profiles of individuals for advertisers. A single profile might draw on up to 1,500 data points. This can include a person's sexuality, browsing history, political affiliation, and even medical records. One US-based data broker, Axiom, claims to have files on 10% of the world's population. It's not just businesses, of course. In 2013, Edward Snowden uncovered a vast regime of mass government surveillance programs, opening a global conversation which is still unfolding today.
Okay, let me show you a case
In this
study
video, we'll
of Facebook. Can you see my screen? Case study of Facebook. Have you guys heard about this scandal, the Facebook scandal? I know a lot about you mentioned Facebook. I'm not scaring you. I use Facebook too. But have you heard about the Facebook scandal? Have you? No? No, you've never heard of the Facebook scandal? Right? So what was this Facebook scandal? The Facebook scandal was about the Facebook the Facebook scandal was about this issue that Facebook is selling data, information of its users to others. Have you heard about this? Yeah, is this something new, or have you heard about this in the news or site in the internet? Yeah? Is this something new? Oh, let me... Have you heard about this? No? Oh, new to you. Oh, great. Oh, really? Oh, okay. So this, actually, this is the old scandal. They have other data privacy issues, data protection issues recently. But this one says that they are selling information. Okay. Well, of course, eventually, Facebook said that what they are doing is that they are collecting your data so that they can, let's say, use it to recommend, okay, let's say companies, okay, that is mostly related to what you're interested in or what you've been visiting or related to your recent activities, okay. So they said they are not selling it, but they are using it, okay, not selling it to other companies, but they are using it so that they can recommend you appropriate companies, okay, companies that would be of interest to you, okay, because these are most likely the websites that you visit, or most likely these are the topics that you are very interested in, okay, and so they are going to advertise these companies to you in your Facebook page, okay. Have you tried showing to a friend of yours or to a family members the ads that you have in your Facebook page and compare it to the ads of the Facebook page of your friend or your family member? Then you'd realize that they are not similar ads. Okay, most likely they have different ads. Okay, why? Because the ads that you'll see, okay, will be depending on your usual website, the websites that you usually visit, or the information that you'd always look for. Okay, so these are the ones that you will see in your website. So Facebook said this is what they are using your data for. So it was a big issue, really. Yes, about leaking information and all that. That was there were a lot of write-ups about it. Yes, if you check the internet, you will see a lot of those. Okay, so I'm not saying that you should be scared. Okay, I'm just giving you a case study of how a company, right, can make use of the data or the information that you have shared over the internet or online. Okay. One of you said it's like we have a different world, one FB account against another. True. Yes. Right. But it's, in a way, it seemed personalized, right? It seemed personalized because your page ads would only appeal to you, okay? And the ads that your friend have will only appeal to your friend because they know that, because they know the data, okay. So knowing all this, okay, about Facebook, let me ask you, everyone, do you still want to use Facebook? Do you still want to use Facebook? Ah, let let me ask and hear your ideas. Okay, uh, let me allow you guys to unmute. Okay, let me ask. Hmm, let me see. Tien, Tien Nguyen, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Yes, Tien. Knowing
Yeah,
about the Facebook scandal, have you heard of this before?
yes,
Yes. And knowing about it, do you still like to, or do you still use Facebook?
yeah. Actually, I don't want to use Facebook.
Mm.
Yeah, it
Do you?
it get a yeah
Mm-hmm.
because
Why?
Facebook that get a lot of my information, so I don't think it's good for
Mhm.
me. And yeah,
Oh.
I rarely use Facebook. I just use Messenger to communicate
Mm-hmm.
with my friends, and I don't use Facebook app or social medias.
Ah, so you use other social medias to communicate to
Yeah,
your friends.
yeah, yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I like to use social media. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
not good for me. So
Not good
yeah,
for you. Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean, I just use social media to connect with my friends or communicate with the others. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, that is one of the benefits of social media.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing, Tian.
yeah.
Okay, let me
Thank you.
ask, how about, let me ask Zayar. Zayar, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Hi Zayar. Good evening. Zayar,
Yeah,
can you tell me, do you still use Facebook or have you heard about this Facebook scandal before? Selling
yes,
of information.
yes, I use Facebook. Yes, I know Facebook and about after passing the matriculation exams, I
Mm-hmm.
at at the university first year, I use Facebook first. Yes, as
Ah,
a
okay.
as a first of all, I think Facebook is the best social media to communicate with each other. Okay.
Ah,
Uh,
okay.
yes. Uh, yes. After that, I know other social medias are more benefit than Facebook. I think this is my opinion.
Ah, okay. Ah, all right. Thank you for sharing, ZR. One question, ZR. Do you think it's safe to use Facebook to share
Yeah.
information in Facebook?
Yes, I think it is not safe for privacy. Yes, I think.
Ah, safe. Ah, okay. Thank you for sharing, ZR. Okay, let me ask another person. Let me ask, what's this? Shekar. Shekar? Shekar Peter, can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yeah.
Hi. Good evening.
I
Shekar, have you heard
doing.
about the Facebook scandal?
Yes, I've heard about it. Yeah.
Ah, okay. And what is your opinion about it?
Well, but honestly, it doesn't bother me because I'm not a I'm not I'm not a very in social media. So
Mm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
use social media that much.
Ah, okay. But
Yeah.
you've heard about it, so it not really bother you since you don't use social media, so you don't share data or information much.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. All right. Thank you, Shikar.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask another person. How about Andrea? Andrea Vidya. Can you hear me? Andrea
Yes, I can hear
Vidya.
you.
Oh, okay, great. Andrea, do you use social media like Facebook?
Not really. Very, very
Not
rare of
not
doing like that.
very rare. Oh, okay.
Very, very
How about
rare. Because
other?
what's
Mm-hmm.
that?
Why?
But that,
Oh,
but
what's
that's
up?
also
Oh,
because it's
okay.
work purpose. Then
Uh-huh.
mainly like if like for social media and all that, I rather meet people or talk to them, call and talk to them. So it's like not really online socializing.
Ah, okay. Oh, is it because you'd rather talk to them in person, not
Yeah,
online? Is
and
it?
also because of my the nature of my work, sometimes I have
Mm-hmm.
no time actually to go inside and to actually to meet my friends and all that.
Uh-huh.
So those friends whom I know is actually I keep in touch with
Mm-hmm.
them, and also that is also is like I will have a schedule on when to actually talk to my friends and all that. So it's quite hard because I have very
Oh.
scheduled kind of like meetings and all that. So I'm not really
Mm.
onto the socializing person. Yeah.
Socializing person. Oh, okay. Thank you for
Mm.
sharing, Andrea.
Okay,
How
thank you.
about for work? Like, do you use messaging work for, for work? Messaging,
Oh yeah,
online messaging,
the
or
that's the thing.
email?
The messaging, email. This is the thing which I use for work purpose. So I yes,
Mm-hmm.
like in a day, like every 1 hour, I actually see my
Mm-hmm.
messages, and then I use that. And at times when I'm really free, then I'll message to my family and all that. But even then, so if it's very important, if it's emergency, then they will actually
Mm-hmm.
call me. Then I'll answer. If not, because due to my work, it's like it's very hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I can't really use all this gadgets inside my work.
Ah, oh,
Very, very,
okay.
yeah.
That's
So that's why yeah. So that's why when I'm very free, only like during public holidays and all that, then that's the time I can
mhm.
actually have time to actually to go on Facebook and then actually see and all that. Yeah.
Okay. According to the survey list that I showed you guys earlier, right? So the highest number in the survey is that many people use messaging online, right? So we share information online. Thank you for sharing, Andrea. Right, so Andrea may not be using social media, but she does still use other platforms for work, like messaging and all that. So still, she is sharing information. Right. Now, in our case study, it shows Facebook as an example, right? But if you guys check the internet right now, okay, similar issues, okay, has also been raised with several companies. Okay, so it's not just to Facebook, but similar issues like these big companies are also sharing or selling information directly related to data privacy, right? It has been there, okay? So it became big. A lot of people are talking about it. And until now, still, a lot of people are using all these platforms in sharing information, right? Now that we know that there is a possibility that now that we know that there is a possibility that our data can be sold, our data can be shared, our data can be given to anyone, and they can use it to benefit, for us to benefit something, okay? Or they can use it to distract, right? That's one. To affect businesses, to affect our personal lives. They can use that too. Isn't it? So that is what is going on right now. That's why we talk about data privacy and data protection. Now, it may sound like it's a big problem and it's a growing problem and it may sound like nothing can be done about it, right? But to us to talk about what can be done about it, we have to know what's going on. We have to know how they get information. Now, take a look at this. See if you are familiar. See if you know what these trackers are. Okay, we call these trackers. What are these trackers? Now, take a look at it, guys, and I'd like you to see if you are familiar with these trackers. Let me share my screen and show you the list. What are these? These are what we call trackers. Okay. What are these trackers? We have the traditional cookies, super cookies, fingerprinters, identity trackers, session cookies, session replay scripts. What are these? What do they do? They get your information. Okay. So I'm sure you're familiar about cookies, right, guys? Sometimes when you when you open a website, sometimes it's asking you to allow them to use cookies, right? Am I right? Yeah. And we just, without minding anything, we just click OK, allow. Right? These are the traditional cookies. We have the super cookies. Well, Verizon became very known because of this. Okay. The super cookies do is that they track your activities in the internet, what websites you open without you knowing it. Okay. Well, of course, it also became a very big issue, and then eventually, Verizon, what they did was to now what they're doing is to ask their customers to choose. They have a choice now if they allow that or not. Okay, because it tracks all the activity that you do in the internet, over the internet. Okay. And there are a lot of people saying, a lot of experts saying that some big companies are also using super cookies, but they are still in the process of proving that. Okay. What do these super cookies do? Again, they track your whereabouts. Okay. Sounds like a criminal, isn't it? You sound like a criminal. You are tracked. You are being tracked. What am I doing? I'm visiting Google and I'm opening a shop website. Okay, online website, a shopping website. Okay, and what are these websites that you visit? It's like you are cornered, right? And they do that without you knowing it. All you're doing is just clicking, and then they know everything, all of it that you are visiting. Okay, it's super, isn't it? Right? So what to do? Can everyone hear and see me? Yes, thank you, Jason. Um, yes, I think my internet is ganging up on me today. Right. I've been fixing and refixing. I apologize, guys, for the disruption. But yes, I'm having a technical issue right now. But don't worry, I can see that it's already 11:16, and I understand that it's supposed to be your break, 15-minute break. Right, guys? So let's have your 15-minute break first, and then you can come back and then continue what we are talking about. Can everyone hear me? Yes? So it's 8:16. Please come back at 8:31. Or no, 8:32 because it just clicked 8:17. Exactly 8:32. Okay? All right. I'll see you guys later. Hello everyone, can you hear and see me? I'm going to switch to, thank you, I'm going to switch to gallery view now so that I will, okay, it's 8:32, so I can start taking screenshot for a second round of attendance screenshot. Okay, right, so make sure that your names are, your screen names are your registered full name, okay? And your videos are on, okay, for our attendance today. Yes, you can smile if you want. That would be great. Okay, are we ready? Right. Let me take first round of your screenshots. Everyone, just give me a few minutes. Here I go. Thank you for smiling. Yes. And so happy to see you. Here we go. Next. Ooh. Yes, for those of you who are seated and bright, you are in a bright room, right? It helps a lot in focusing during the lesson. Good job in doing that. I encourage everyone to do the same. Okay. I'm going to continue taking the screenshot. Okay, so everybody stay smiling. Yeah, that would be great. Thank you. Right. So uh, for those of you who are in a dark room, right? It's it's very tempting to rest rather than listen, right, guys? So I encourage you to stay in a well-lit room so you can focus, okay, more instead of staying in a very dim and very tempting room to rest for the lesson. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Three more. And almost there. I'm in the last three pages. And last. Thank you. Thank you for your big, bright smiles, everybody, and being patient with me getting disconnected and all while I am talking about a very important topic, which is which is call this data privacy and protection for you, and of course for your future companies. Okay, thank you. Right. So for those of you who did not get the link earlier, I pasted the link again in our chat box. So you could open that link and you can make use of it for, uh, well, when you have free time and would like to review what we have talked about tonight, which is data privacy and protection. Okay. Now, we talked about the importance of data privacy and how it has affected some companies, how it was a big issue to some companies, and how is it a threat to us. Okay, a threat to us because we use internet, whether we use it for personal use or whether we use it for work. Okay, we put information, we leave information in the net, and these information can be collected, can be stored, can be processed without us knowing. Okay, we had no right. It seemed like we had no right to choose which information we can keep private and which information we can share. Right. Now let me share my screen. So that we can talk about how we can protect our information. So we can do something about it. We know that there are trackers. We know that there are data brokers. Okay, and what they do is collect our information, our company information, and they can use it for their own benefit. They can use it that could benefit us, true, but they can also abuse it. Okay, we know that. So what can we do to protect our information? Let's talk about protection technologies. Okay, what are protection technologies? Have you heard of this? Or most likely, we just don't talk about it, but we are all using it. Okay, so let's talk about these. There you go. So here are the list of protection technologies and practices that we can do to protect our data. I'm going to share with you guys the link later on for additional reading for you. Okay, so first we have the data loss prevention or DLP. So what does it do? It is just simply a set of tool. It is a tool, okay, where we have this set of strategies that can use to prevent your data from being stolen. Okay, we also have, of course, the storage with built-in data protection. When you buy the device or when you have all these gadgets that you're using at work or at home, they already have their own built-in data protection. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay. Another thing I'm sure you're very familiar of is the firewall, right? Firewall has been used, okay, since then, right? I'm sure even people who are not very well versed or interested in using the internet, I'm sure they have heard of the firewall. Okay. What else? What else do we have? We have authentication and authorization that happens every time someone will open or access, okay, information. So it helps you control. Okay, how does it help you? Well, it verifies information first or credentials. So if they can't give the correct information, then they cannot see the information. They cannot access the information. Okay, we also have what everyone knows about right now or have heard of, which is what we call the encryption. Okay, what does the encryption do? Well, it alters the data and it connects according to in a certain way, wherein really what happens is there is an encryption key Okay? And this protects the whole data that only authorized receiver, for example, can see the information. Okay? Only the intended receiver can see the information. Anyone else cannot. Okay? We also have this endpoint protection, and this one, what it does is protect the gateways of your network, including your ports, routers, and even connected devices. And the data ensure, which limits the liability by deleting data that is no longer needed. In doing so, uh, history, data history cannot be accessed. Other information shared before cannot be accessed. Okay, so not all information can be accessed. So we have all these technologies right now, and I'm sure some of these you are familiar with or you have heard of. Okay, even if you are not an IT expert, I'm sure you have heard of this. Okay, data encryption is the one that is uh, well, being used by a lot of softwares right now, a lot of websites right now. This is what they are using, data encryption, and that people, more and more users, feel secured with data encryption because what it does is to ensure that only the receiver can access the data or can read the information. Okay, pretty interesting, isn't it? Right? So when we have all these technology in front of us, okay, when we have all these technology in front of us, so we have a lot of help in our hands. We have a lot of help in our hands that would help us protect our data. When we have our own companies, we have this technology to help us protect our data. Whether we like it or not, it actually protects us, right? It protects our data. These technology does that. You know, before I used to work with Dell computers, and I remember there was this one customer who asked for help because he said he cannot access what do you call this, some websites that he wants to open. Right. And he said his computer is new, but it's not working well. So he wants to return his computer. So I asked him to check some websites, and I asked him to tell me if he was able to open the websites that I asked him to open. So I gave him 3 websites to open and see if it opens or not. And then uh, after checking, he said, yeah, I can open the websites. Oh, okay, great. And so I asked him, what are these websites that you want to open? Okay, can you share with me the links? Okay, of these websites that you want to open, so that I can check if I can open it myself or not. And well, he didn't want to share the websites that he wanted to open. He said that no, I think what I just don't understand is that every time I open the website, what his computer does is his computer shuts down. Okay, his computer shuts down, and it's a new computer. It's a brand new computer. It's just 1 month. He just bought it, and so he's wondering why every time he opens the websites, his computer shuts down. Okay. So I told him after I asked him to open the websites and he doesn't want to share the website links to me that he's been using, I told him that it was his firewall. Those softwares were installed in his computer. It was a new computer. It was an expensive computer. And all these protection is available. It's there. Okay? It has been working, whether he'd like it or not. And the reason why his computer is shutting down, it's because, well, his computer is shutting down. It's because the website that he's trying to access are causing harm to his computer. And his computer is telling him to not open the websites, but he insists on allowing to access it, right? And because he's insisting on allowing it, what his firewall does is just shut down the whole computer. So every time he opens the computer, it opens like it's working, and then when he clicks the website, then his computer will start to shut down. See, this protection technology is there. When we buy all these gadgets, it's there. It is there to protect us. Whether we like it or not, it is going to work. It will protect us. Okay? It will protect our data. So I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Maybe that is what you have right now in your computers, the ones that you are using. Maybe it's the one that you have right now in your, oh, if you're using your phone. Okay, if you're using your tablet, you already have all these protection technology that will protect your data, right? Isn't it great? So we have that. But even so, right? Even so, we still have to be careful, right? Now, so this is what we need to do. Okay, so because we still have to be careful, although we have all these, okay? So let me ask you first, what are some of the tech protection, okay, protection technology that you are using right now to protect your data? Is it firewall? Is it the firewall? Is it the what do you have? Is it the storage with built-in data protection? What do you have right now? Is it in encryption that you are using right now to protect your data? Or what about the company that you work with? Do you know what protection technology your company has right now that protects your information? Any ideas? Let me ask. Let me ask some of you to share your uh, answers. Let me ask Jenny Rose Pili. Can you hear me? Jenny Rose. Jenny Rose. These are the protection technologies, okay, that we have, right? Are you familiar with these? Which ones do you use, or which one does your company use to protect data? Can Jenny Rose hear me? Ah, okay. Wait, let me allow Jenny Rose to unmute. Okay, Jenny Rose, go. Can you hear me, Jenny Rose? Can you
Oh my
unmute?
god, I'm so sorry, ma'am.
There you go.
Oh
It's
my god,
okay. I can hear your
sorry.
beautiful voice now. Okay, Jenny Rose, are you familiar with what do you call that? Sorry, protection technologies that we use to protect our
No, mom.
data. Do you use them?
No, mom.
Firewall?
Happy
No?
birthday. Yes, mom.
You
I'm
don't
not
have any
working.
firewall in your computer?
I'm
No,
just
not at
borrowing
all.
computer. Yes, mom.
Ah, okay. Oh, so you're just not aware of what is inside that computer there. Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Jenny.
mom.
All right, let me ask another person. How about Linessa? Linessa, can you hear me? I can see Linessa. Linessa, can you hear me? How
Yes,
about you,
ma'am.
Linessa? Are you aware of the uh, technology that you use to protect your data?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you using computer
Yes,
right
yes. I
now?
mean, yeah, I'm using my laptop.
Ah, okay, great. So
Mhm.
which of the
I guess
items that I showed you
this
earlier
one has a firewall.
has a firewall?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
before
But
I'm using the
have you?
antivirus with the firewall. Somebody, installed here the antivirus with the firewall for protection.
Oh, okay, for the antivirus. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right. How about for your data protection? Did it say that it will also protect your data,
I don't think so,
Linessa?
mom. None,
Ah,
mom.
okay. All right.
Mm-mm.
All right. So I'm sure you just believe what the IT guy told you. Like, okay, this will protect your data. This will protect your computer. And so,
Yeah.
okay, it's all there. I'm safe to use. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for sharing, Linessa.
Thank
I have a
you.
few people. Tien Nguyen, did you raise your hand to share your answer? Tien?
Yes.
Oh, okay, Tien. Tell us, what about you? Do you know what are the technology used to protect your data?
Um, I usually use antivirus program.
Mm-hmm.
Set a password for my data, or use the third platform to protect my data.
Okay. So were you the one who put it there, Tien, or was it there when you bought the device or the gadget?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Were you the one who installed it, or was it already there when you bought the gadget or the device?
I installed it.
Ah, you installed it
I
yourself. Oh,
yeah. I usually store it
okay.
in
Wow.
hard
So you
drive.
know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing,
Yeah.
Tien. How about Alexa? Yati Poo Quint? Hi, Alexa. Hi, Alexa. Can you share to me what? Oh, Alexa, I can't hear you. Are you on mute? There. Oh, wait. Alexa? Oh, I think your microphone is a bit faulty.
Hello?
There, Alexa. There, better. Okay, Alexa, can you tell me what technology are you using to protect your data?
For data loss protections, I use Google Drive. I save
Mm-hmm.
documents, PDF, and photos in Google Drive, so it
Mm-hmm.
prevents my data
Mm-hmm.
not to lose. And also
Mm-hmm.
for encryption, I use Telegram
Mm-hmm.
to chat with my friends because
Mm-hmm.
it encrypts my message and data.
Mm-hmm.
And also
Mm-hmm.
Telegram is safer than Messenger, so I use Telegram
Mm-hmm.
more than Messengers. Yeah, so I use these two technologies.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing, Alexa. True. So when you use Google Drive, it protects your data, right?
Yeah,
And the only people who can access that information are the ones that you allow,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yes, that is true. I think many professionals use Google Drive right now so that they can only share the information to the people who should see the information and not everyone else. Thank you, Alexa, for sharing. Okay, I have Emily. Emily, are you there? Can you hear me? Emily?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Ah, hi,
Yes.
Emily. Right, you were raising your hand, right? You're
Yeah.
volunteering, right?
No,
Okay.
I'm raised before. Yeah.
Ah, this was before.
during
Oh,
lesson.
okay.
During lesson, yeah.
Ah, this was
It's
before.
like, it's like everyone.
Okay, I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Just like everyone. Oh, I'm so sorry. False alarm. I thought you were volunteering to share what technology are you for using for protection right now. Thank you, Emily. Okay, let me just ask one last person. Let me ask Rogelyn. Rogelyn, are you volunteering or was it also just before your raised? Palm was before. Rogelyn, are you there?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Hi, good evening. Yes.
Okay, Hi, good evening, Rogelyn. So can you
I
tell me,
think that
Rogelyn, what are...
hi, good evening.
Hmm,
I think that's
I can
DLP,
hear music.
data loss.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Right, it's okay. I can hear your interesting
Please mute
music
yung
in the
music.
background.
Sorry.
Grabing laksa music ng ano.
Riley!
Let
No!
Ay,
Quiet!
noon ka.
let
Sige
me
daw. Hindi na.
sorry.
Ay, sorry, sorry. Riley,
Okay,
quiet.
Rogelyn, is it better now? Okay,
Oh,
Rogelyn, can you
yes,
just
I'm
tell
sorry.
me? Mm-hmm. That's okay.
I think that's DLP, data loss prevention.
Mm-hmm.
A set of
Mm-hmm.
strategies
What you're
or tools
using?
that you can use to prevent DLP.
Okay, so that is what you are using right now. Is it for personal use or this is for the company use?
Yeah,
Is it
it's for
for
personal
your
use.
personal use or for company use? Ah, for
For
personal
my
use. Thank you so much,
personal use.
Rogelyn. Okay. Thank you. Thank you guys
Thank you.
for volunteering. Thank you for sharing your ideas and your answers with me. So I can see that everyone is aware, like in at least you know what are the things that you need to check out right now. Maybe before this is something that you never really thought of. Maybe after this can be something that you can focus on. Okay. Are we making sure that our data is protected? Okay, since we never really thought about that. So now that we know that it is important, are we doing something? Okay, are we aware of what our company is doing, or what is the best thing to do, or what are the technology that we can use to ensure that our data is protected? Okay, so we can answer all these questions now. Now I'm going to share my screen again. I would like to show you guys the best practices for ensuring data privacy. What are the best practices? And I can assure you that these best practices that we have is not only for you. It's not only for just you or just for the big companies. These best practices can be done by companies, by you. Okay, what are these? They are not very difficult things to remember. What are the best practices for ensuring data privacy? Well, it's really pretty simple. Okay, what are these practices? Here are the best practices. Number one, practice minimal data collection. The more data you have, well, the more data can be stolen, right? The more data you collect, the more data can be taken, copied, processed, right? So practice minimal data collection. Ensure that your policies dictate that your company only collects necessary data and not a lot of data. So minimize your data collection. Okay. It will also save bandwidth and storage. Okay. What is the other one? Next is include your users. What does that mean? Well, you have to be transparent with your users. Okay. They should know what you are doing to protect what is your company doing to protect their privacy. Okay? So they should be aware. Users appreciate transparency when it comes to using storing data. Okay? I'm sure us would appreciate it when a company tells us what they are going to use our data for. Okay? How is it going to be stored? How long is it going to be stored? How is it going to be used? Right? That would make us feel assured, the customers. Okay? As a company, that will make your company look very assuring. Okay? there's integrity in your company. They can trust in your company. Okay. For example, you outline the data that will be collected. Okay. You can also include options to like modify the information, out of data collection, right? I remember one of my friends told me before, because I don't use Facebook before, and then they told me that, oh, Rose, you can use Facebook now because you see in Facebook you can customize. I said, what do I customize? You can customize like who are these people who can see your information? Who are these people you can share your information? Who are these people who can see it? You can do that. I said, really? Not for everyone? Yes. Because at that time, I did not know, right? I appreciate that as a user because it would tell me that I can keep information private. I can choose which information I can keep private, which information I can share, right? Users like that. Okay. So if we have the control, if the users have control and they know how they can customize, what options do they have, especially young people nowadays, they like that. So include your users. Users would like that very much so they don't feel like they are in the dark. Okay? At the same time, the third practice that you need to remember is to make sure you have a list. You have an inventory of your data. If you don't have a list or you don't have any inventory of the data that you have collected or the data that you have or the data that you have handled or how you handled it, if you lose the data, you have no idea what you lost. I think you won't even have an idea if you lost a data or what. You have no idea because you have no inventory. So that is an opportunity for all those trackers, okay, to get information and you have no idea that you have been sharing those information, right? And they are not private anymore and you haven't secured it. Okay, so if you have a list, you can track the information that you have so you can easily know what has happened to the data that you are ensuring. Okay. For example, you define the frequency of which data is scanned for and how it is classified in one location. Now that's easy to check. Okay. So if you have policies, make sure that they clearly outline the protection. Okay. If it is clearly outlined, then it's easy to manage. It is very easy to manage. If not, we will never know. You will never know what are those data that we lost. So these are the three practices to ensure data privacy. Okay, now we know that we have technologies and we know that uh, we have practices that has been used by many companies and many individuals or many users until now. Now, is that the only extent of what we can do to protect our data? Is that the only extent? Is this is our limit? Is this our limit? The answer is no. Okay, that is not the only limit that we have. Okay, we actually have what we call, I don't know if you have heard of this, but we have what we call the mm, data compliance. What is data compliance? Let me share my screen again so you can see. So what is this data compliance? Okay. Data compliance is a term used to describe formal standards. It is a standard, it's a norm. And practices, this is to ensure that sensitive data is protected from loss, it is protected from theft, it is protected from corruption, it is protected from misuse. Okay? These are the regulations that many organizations must follow. Okay. There are many data compliance standards that we have all over the world. Okay. Uh, if you want for additional reads, you can check what are the data compliance standards that you have in your country. Okay. Data compliance standards that you have for the organizations in your country. Okay. You can check out all of these. Why? Because these regulations, that's why it's called regulation, what they do is this body will regulate. Okay? So why am I discussing this? Because this will help, okay, ensure that our data, especially sensitive data, is being protected, okay, by all these governing bodies. Okay. I'm not sure if you are very familiar, but I will show you some of it. Okay. I will show you some of it. Um, so what do the compliance do? What they do is they they regulate the data. They regulate what can be shared, what can be kept private. Okay, we have different compliance. We have standards. We have different compliance standards for every industry. We have for different governments, for different countries, for different states. Okay, even continents. Okay, we have all these. Okay, so what do they address? They address number one, what type of data that needs to be protected. So they clearly define that. Number two, what processes need to be implemented to protect the data. What penalties will be exercised should an organization not be compliant with the said process? Okay. So see? So apart from the technologies, the personal technology that we use to protect our data, apart from the best practices that we can use to protect our data, our company's data, we also have these regulations that we follow. If you are part of a certain country, your country has regulations. These regulations define, okay, what type of data needs to be protected, what type of data that needs to be implemented to protect, what processes do you use to make sure that these are implemented to protect your data. They have all these. If you are working in a certain company right now, your company is a part of an industry. And this industry, they have this compliance. They have regulations that they need to follow to protect data. Some of these standards are not just in your country. Some of these standards are even followed by continents, a group of countries. So it's not just one, it's just for one country. So you can see that why are they doing this? They are doing this to protect our data. So it's not just the company has policies to protect data. The industry that your company is part of has all these regulations to protect your data. The country where your company is right now has also regulations that needs to be followed. And your country is also part of these organizations that will ensure the protection of your data. Let me show you some of these data compliance standards. So we have the GDPR, okay. GDPR stands for General Data Protection Regulation. Okay, right now it is a regulation that is it is focused in Europe. Okay, and we also have the HIPAA compliant. Okay, I'm not sure if you're familiar with all these, but I'm sure you have your own organization in your country. You can check out what are these data compliance standards that you have in your country, okay? Where your country is part of, where your industry is part of, where your company is part of, okay? What are these? Okay, so these are examples. Uh, these are the most common ones. I'm going to share with you guys a link where you will know more about the GDPR, because that is the General Data Protection Regulation, and that regulation is being followed by many countries now. So here's the link. Okay, that will be a good read for you and a good information for you. Okay, when you open countries, we're not when you open your businesses, right? We're not sure like which part of the world you're going to open your business, or maybe you will open your business in your own country, but you'll never know. You're going to expand your companies to other countries, right? We'll never know. You need to be aware of this because you have to ensure the privacy and the protection of data of your customers as well as your clients. So this is something that will be very helpful for you. You can check out the link that I have sent in the chat box. That can help you uh, let you know more about standard data compliance standards that we have right now. Okay. So what do you get if you have data compliance? Okay. What are the benefits of data compliance? Of course, you have data protection. Okay. As the world becomes increasingly reliant to technology, everybody is using technology now. Maybe before pandemic, some of you can say that, nah, I don't really like using technology. And I just go to work and I just do my job and nah, I don't really care much about technology. Maybe that was how you were before pandemic, right? But when the pandemic happened and spread out and it's been almost 2 years now, right? And many people now are using technology to do transactions, to do their work, right? Mostly everything, right? You can't really say that you're not part of it anymore. Do you agree? Would you agree, guys? Right? It's not about age. It's not about preference. It's not about how old you are, how young you are, or how interested you are with technology or not. It's not about that anymore. All of us use technology now. Do you agree? My grandmother uses it. Actually, she uses it more than I do. Sometimes she knows more than I do. And it was us who taught her, right? You'd be surprised. A lot of people using technology now. And if we have data compliance, it will protect our data. Okay? It will protect your business. Okay. Why? Because you're covered. Okay? And because you have protection, because you can ensure protection of your customers' data, then your customers will trust your company more. Right? If you have a new company and you have a new website, not many people will open your website or use your website. Okay, why? Because they don't know who you are. They don't trust you yet, right? Once the customer knows that your website, your company can be trusted and that their data are protected, okay, they will trust you. They will trust your company. Okay? Data protection can make your customers trust your business. and that will be beneficial for you. Why? Customers are the blood of your company. No customers, no business. We know that. When customers trust the company, they will stay with your company, and they will even what? They will even share how great your company is to other people. That's free ads. No need to pay. Word of mouth. That's the most effective advertising, isn't it? They tell their friends, they tell the neighbors, oh, you know what? You use this. This is better. Okay. Wouldn't that be great? That means what? That means they trust your company. Okay. Why? Because they know that their data is protected. Okay. So that's number two, customers trust. Okay. Number three, cost. What does it have to do with cost? Well, it saves cost. Okay. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Okay. Think about it. More and more companies are having problems with data privacy and protection. And because of that, it is costing them a lot of money. They are paying a lot of money because of these problems, right? So if we have data compliance, okay, if we have that, well, we can save costs, okay? A lot of institutions have realized that. It's business. Of course, we want to save money, okay? We will do things that will, of course, save money so that we won't have to spend so much for our business, okay? Let me ask you, if you are the owner of the company and that you know that having data regulations, okay, data compliance regulations can make your customer trust you, make make the customer trust you, make you save costs, right? And protects your data. Will you not be part of it? You would want to make sure that you have it too, right? Am I right? Yeah? You want to make sure that your company is also protected by it, right? Yeah, Jason agrees. You would like that very much. Why? Because this is all for the betterment of your company. And it's not just company, even personally, right? We can benefit it too as a user, as a customer, as a person who uses technology all the time. We can benefit from it. So why should we not be part of it? We should be grateful that we have these regulations like the GDPR, okay? Because it protects us. Of course, we are doing everything we can to protect, but this is an added protection and we have it and it helps us. Now let me show you guys how the compliance, the data compliance help. Let me show you an example. Okay. Um, this example is the Singapore Personal Data Protection Act. Okay. Let me share it with you so that you can see what I am talking about. So Singapore has this Personal Data Protection Act. Of course, it is a regulation, right? It protects data. So companies, industries in Singapore are protected by this act. Okay. Let me share the screen. Here we go. Can you see it? Everyone? Can you see my screen? Thank you. Okay. So in Singapore, they have this Personal Data Protection Act. The Personal Data Protection Act sets out the law on data protection. Well, it's very specific in Singapore. So I'm very sure that in your countries, if you check you also have your own Personal Data Protection Act. Okay, maybe you call it with a different name, a different acronym, a similar idea though. Okay, so what does it do? It regulates the processing of personal data in, very specific, in a private sector. Okay, so the PDPA establishes a general data protection regime. Well, it is originally comprising 9 data protection obligation. Okay, so what are these? The consent obligation, the purpose limited obligation, the notification obligation, the access and correction obligation, the accuracy obligation, the protection obligation, the retention limitation obligation, the transfer limitation obligation, and the openness obligation, which is now what we call accountability obligation. So that's a lot being covered, right? So in 2020, there was another one that was added in 2020, and that was the data breach notification obligation. Okay, so when it started, there were just 9, and then in 2020 they added another one. Okay, so the PDPA also governs telemarketing in Singapore. Okay, so I'm sure you guys know about telemarketing. Okay, so what does it do? Well, they have established this what we call do not call registers. Okay, so these are the list of users that do not want to get calls from telemarketers. So in which telephone numbers may be registered. Okay, so it is registered, and generally, if a telephone number is listed on a do not call register, then the telemarketing company is not permitted to call the owner of the telephone number. They should not. Okay, so it protects the users, right? A lot. Do you guys like to answer telemarketing calls? Do you? Have you ever received a telemarketing call that make you feel lost? Like, huh? What? What? I don't understand. What? Oh, you need to buy? Okay. Right? So we have all these, right? So they don't want that. So they register. So these telemarketing companies should not be calling these numbers. Okay. Or else they have to, of course, well, get the consequence. Okay. So let's look at this case study in 2018. Sing Health data breach. Okay. So so we have that data compliance regulation in Singapore. Now, this one happened in 2018. Between 27th of June to the 4th of July, there were hackers. So we know that, right? It happens. Okay, there were hackers, and they stole personal particulars of about 1.5 million patients and the records of outpatient dispense medicine belonging to 160,000 patients. It's a lot of names. Okay, 160,000 patients. Names, national registration, identity card numbers, these are some of the information that were stolen. Okay? What they really wanted was the information of the prime minister. That was the target. Okay? On the 4th of July 2018, a public healthcare IT provider, okay, he detected that there was this unusual activity in one of its IT databases. Okay. So the network traffic monitoring was enhanced and precautions against further intrusions were implemented. That's why there were no further theft of data took place. So it ended in the 4th of July. Okay. So the CSA, or the Cybersecurity Agency, was brought in to carry out forensic investigation. So they're going to check the cyber footprints. Okay. The perpetrators gained privileged access to the IT network by compromising a front-end workstation, and then they obtained login credentials to access the database while hiding their digital footprint. That's what they did. Okay. So these hackers were able to get information from SingHealth. Okay, SingHealth was not there to share the information. These hackers purposely, okay, took all the information they could get, okay, of 160,000, that's a lot, 160,000 patients. 1.5 million patients records belonging to 160,000 patients. Okay, although their main target was the prime minister. Okay, they were able to get all these. It started in between July 27th of June until the 4th of July. In that span of time, they were able to get that information. If this IT personnel, healthcare IT personnel, was not able to detect the activity, what do you think would have happened? So that's 27, 28, 29, 30. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Like a week. Took a few days, 7 days for them to get data. What do you think would have happened if this IT personnel was not able to detect these unusual activities? Imagine that. If that was your company, what do you think would have happened if someone hacked your system, took information, and no one, because it's supposed to be no one, right? They're professionals. They're so good at it that no one's supposed to know that's what they're doing, right? So in that 7 days, that's the amount of information that was taken from SingHealth. Okay. Imagine if this person was what we call the unusual activity. In the IT database. They were able to see that he was they were able to stop the theft of data investigation to protect the data of their patients, right? If not, then we will lose more. We will lose more information. You can't see my screen anymore, guys. Let me share it again. So in 2019, there was a report, okay, about the SingHealth breach. In the same report, so that they will improve their cybersecurity. Because of that incident, there were investigations. They were able to give 60 recommendations. So that this time there's cyber and of course additional regulations. Okay. So what does that mean? Because security to make sure that this time breach will not happen. So you have there the list like perform enhanced security checks, improve incident response processes. What can you do? What do you need to look at? What you should be vigilant for. Okay, because of that, they are now able to improve their cyber security. Attributed to the breach. Okay, the weak link where it all started. Okay, they were able to identify that. Okay, so now that they can do that, so what can they do to make sure that it will not happen? Again, that's a lot of work because of the regulation that all private sectors are part of. Okay. In doing so, we now know how to make it better, and we now know how to make our data protection system be more reliable. Okay. They were able to see, they were able to name specific findings. Okay. Just working on your own. You can't have this operation this big that will just not benefit you. but also the benefit all the other private sectors, all the other companies under the private sector. Now, because now your companies can be protected. The data of your companies can be protected. All the list, all the recommendations. Okay. If you can read through, guys, if you can read through the case study, it is in the link, of course, that I have shared to you, right? You can see very clearly, clear cut lines. What can you do? What can be better? What can we do next? Okay. So how come this happened? We and it wouldn't help how to improve our businesses. But because of these regulations, we have done something about the problem. We have recommendations. Now we know what to do. After all that has happened, the PDPC fined the integrated health information system for $750,000 for not doing enough for the PDPA, making it the largest fine imposed for data breaches. Okay, and on the 6th of March 2019, identified a state-sponsored group act. It was found that this group was behind several cyber attacks against Singapore-based entities in 2017. A lot of that it's not important. Right? Do you agree? Agree? Right? Someone has to answer. Can you hear me, guys? Yeah, no? Yes? Throng, can you hear me? Am I clear? Chrysalin, kind of lost. Ooh. Oh, okay. All right. So I can see people giving me thumbs up. Thank you. All right. Can you check out your chat box, everybody? Okay. In the chat box, I pasted two questions. So I'm going to paste it again because I want you to think about this. Okay. So the first question is, can you be complacent about the cybersecurity of your organization even if, if you were not an IT personnel? Okay. Do you think this responsibility is only for IT personnel, the protection of data? Do you think this job is only for IT personnel? Okay, Uh, let me ask people. How about Mik- Mikam? Mikam Palero? Are you there? Can you hear me? Mikam? Mikam, can you hear me? No, I don't get any. Okay. Poe? Poe? Can you hear me? Poe? Are you there? Yeah? Do you see my question in the chat box? Okay. Do you think, what do you think about the question? Can you be complacent about the cybersecurity of your organization, even if you are not an IT personnel? Mm-hmm. Hmm? Poe, you cannot hear me. Oh, okay. Well, I got one answer here from, uh, I got one answer here. Yes, ma'am, because the matter that you work from that company is your duty to protect the data of your company. Well, I like that. Thank you, John Kent. That was a very good answer. Right? Yes. So even if you're not an IT personnel, even if you're not an IT personnel, well, you are part of the company. It is your responsibility to be to protect the data of your company. I agree. I totally agree. Thank you. How about Trong? Trong, Son Lee, are you raising your hand? Okay, since you can't hear me guys clearly, maybe you can type and send me your answers. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Agree. Right? Because you have to tell me why it's important to do so. Okay. Trong Sun Lee, Jason Bornilio, if you could type your answer in our chat box because our audio is not clear. Yes, that would help us greatly. Mm-hmm. Okay, I have another question. My second question was this. In this case study, who do you think should be concerned about the data security of the customers. Sure. Very good. So my second question, who should be concerned about the data security of the customers? Okay. I can see that many of you are sharing your answers. Yes, thank you. It's good to know that you know your responsibility and that you know what you can do, right, to ensure that data is uh, secured. Data is kept private. Okay. Customers. Okay. It's the customers should be concerned about the security of the patient. Customers or patients. Okay. So customers. Hmm. Everyone. Right. Zin Zhao said everyone should be concerned. So not just customers or not just patients, but everyone. Everyone should be concerned because it's everyone's data, both customers and patients. Yes. Oh, Ralph said the management, of course, that's their responsibility. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They should make sure that this should be prevented, right? Especially the IT department, right? Mm-hmm. Both should be concerned. Very good. Okay. Both should be concerned. Right. Totally. It's not just one party that's responsible. Both should be responsible. Mm-hmm. Okay. We should all be aware on how to secure privacy, how to make sure that our data is secured. Thank you. Thank you. All right, I'm going to share the link again for our of tonight's lesson. Again, guys, this is the link for tonight's lesson. So in case you will want to open the videos, uh, open the whole report, okay, then you can. So for those who did not get the link, here is the link, everybody. Okay, I'd like you to take note of that. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Guys, can you hear me? May, Ralph. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ralph. All right. Thank you, Jason. Okay, so I share the questions to you guys because I would like you tonight, I would like you to research. Okay, I would like you to research in your country. Oh, thank you, Delani. Yes, thank you guys for confirming. Okay, so I'd like you to check, research in your country, right? What's the data compliance regulation in your country? Okay, what is it? What are the standards? Okay, that is being imposed in your country. Okay, to protect and ensure the data of the users, of the customers, of certain companies, of certain industries in your country. Who knows? Your company might be part of it. That is your country. You plan to do business there, right? It is important that you know how to ensure the data privacy and protection of your clients, your employees, your customers, and your users. Okay? Now, I gave you the link again for those who were late. Okay? Right? I'm going to talk about something very important. So can you hear me clearly? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, great. I'm going to talk about something very important before we go today. But, before that, I am going to click on my gallery view again because I would like to take a screenshot of everyone's attendance tonight at the end of the session. Okay? So get ready. Smile again for your screenshot picture attendance, guys. Thank you. Okay, it looks pleasant when, when you see the screenshot and you look so happy, although you can't hear me clearly sometimes. I apologize for that, guys. Uh, some of the things that I cannot control of right now. Okay, so are we ready? Should I begin? All right. Everyone's ready. Great. Okay. So remember, I have 14 pages. So that means you have to smile for a few minutes. Right. Okay. Thank you. I like it that everyone was able to put their complete name and their screen names. I hope you guys to continue to do so. Okay. Great. Let me add more. There we go. Right. Wow. Smile, people. Here we go. Okay. And then we have the smiling people of page 6. On my page 6. And then I have John Kent's big smile. And then, mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you, Angela. And I have more. Wait. There's more. I'm halfway to it. And yeah, can you imagine, guys? Right. Okay. Uh, 5 more pages to go. And here I am. Ooh. Oops. Um, I like it that I did not see any screen name. I did not notice any screen name, Mickey Mouse or something. I like it that you guys put your full name. Thank you so much for doing that. So it's easier for our administrator to check your attendance. And it's also very easy for her to uh, make sure that you guys are present for today's session. Okay, but before I go, I have a very important announcement to make. So I would like to talk about your exams. Okay? I'd like to talk about your exams. So I'm sure you guys are interested to sit into your exams. Am I correct? Okay, so I would like to talk about that. Okay? So I'm sure you have questions like when is it going to be? Okay? I'm sure you have questions about what are you going to do, or maybe you are not so sure when the date will be until when you are given, when is the time frame, okay, so what to do about it. All right, so I'm sure you have those questions. So I'm going to show you that information right now, okay, so you can take a screenshot, or if you want, you can, what do you call this? Um, mm, Information. Okay. Have you ever thought about have you ever thought about sitting on the exam, guys? Hmm? Not so? Not yet? Okay. All right. So I will show this first. Okay. So this is, let me share my screen. Not sure. Okay. Thank you for being honest, guys. Okay. So here, okay. So this is the postgraduate diploma in case some of you are part of it. Okay. So Tuesday, okay, you are strongly encouraged to attend the revision class, and that's Thursday. Okay, so what you need to do is to log into Zoom. The exam is for 2 hours, and that is 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. Will be given the usual during the exam day. Okay, to complete your true or false. Section B is MCQ, so that's 60 mark, which is case study. Okay, MCQ is multiple choice questions. Right, let's just choose. Do you think is the appropriate answer? Exam fee for the PGDBM is $80 per module. That is for 1st of October. The usual is $90 per module. And I'm sure you know all of this already. 3 days before sitting for the exam. And that is the 26th today. Okay. Now, this is for those who are for diploma in business and sales management. Okay. Revision is on the 8th of December. So you are class. That will be on the 8th of December. online. So you log into Zoom and then you will be Zoom, and that's again for 2 hours from 7 a.m. to the school platform. Link is given on the exam day itself, like we usually do. The exam format is similar. It's true or false. True or false, which is 20 marks, and that's 10 questions. The section B is is for multiple choice questions, and you need to give short answers. Explain your answers. So you have to is $90 per exam. Okay, so it for sitting for the exam. So the exam is the 10th is on the 10th of pay. You need to pay by the 7th of okay, and also make sure that you inform your consultant on the 29th of November. Okay. For those of you who are thinking and decided, okay, so for those of you who have decided, okay, please take note of the date. All right. That's for the exam. Now, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, I wanted to talk exciting things starting tomorrow. What is this exciting thing that we have tomorrow? So what we have is we are going to okay, biz talk tomorrow. This 1 and 2, okay? And we are inviting everybody. Everyone is invited. Everyone talk, okay? So what is this business? You can join the session. I will show you the invite to everybody. Can you see me and hear me? Bites for biz. Talk 1 and Biz Talk 2. Our Biz Talk tomorrow in the afternoon. It's for free, okay, at 10. So it will not just be very helpful for you, right? You will know more about how to do business. 3, at 3 p.m. Singapore time tomorrow, November Chris and Mom. So he at work. Okay. So not just that, the talk, another business talk that will start at 9 p.m. until with Mr. Wally Ruada in business. Okay. So I'm sure if you're going to be present, will get a certificate of attendance. This Biz Talk modules that we're going to have every Saturday. Remember, guys, these are for free. You don't need to pay for any. You will. I'm sure you got the invites and the links will be given to you as well. Instead of instead of not doing anything more about business skills, okay, and how you can make use of that information for you. Okay, so the link will be given to you guys. I encourage everyone to one and the second one. Remember, it is for free, and you have very good speakers. For one is at 3 to 5. The other one is at 9 to 11. Huh. Okay. All right. I'm for those who did not hear me, I'm inviting everyone to join. Okay, the Biz Talk tomorrow. Okay, so for those who did not hear me, okay, those are my okay, that will be for your benefit. Okay, to join. Okay, before I go, do you have questions? Okay. Okay. You can find out the link for today. Hmm. Okay. Cannot sit in the exam. That means to the next module. To sit exam so that okay, it is required for you to finish the module before you. Hmm. Okay, guys, since you have no more questions, thank you so much for today. It was great to meet you all. Thank you for joining our free sessions tomorrow. And see you again tomorrow for BizTalk 1 or BizTalk 2. Bye-bye and good night to everybody.